Experience Karen Hunter
in a completely different way.
Karen Hunter is awesome. The podcast.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're going to love me. And Karen Hunter is awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of The Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is Awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power. A 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. Check out the podcast wherever you get your podcast. You will not be disappointed. To tell you that I didn't watch any of the damn Hands Off March. I saw some stuff across my timeline with some aerial shots of the people. If you were out in them streets, I would love to hear your experience. 866-801-8255. I was following the edict that we were staying home, so we did. They said scores of people. They estimated 600,000 people signed up to attend events in all 50 states on Saturday, organized by a pro-democracy movement in response to what they called a hostile takeover of the United States and an attack on American rights and freedoms. Hands off. There were 1,400 mass action protests, and the messaging, Don, was that it was so peaceful. It was so peaceful. They said it was so peaceful because the blacks weren't there. The blacks weren't there, and that's why it was peaceful, because there were no blacks. There were no blacks, so it was peaceful. So somehow they're inferring that black people, not the horrible terroristic white, the power structure. Let me not do the white thing, because it's not just the whites. It's the power structure. It's hostile against black bodies. So when black people show up to anything, here you come with the riot gear and the tear gas, and then somehow pallets of rocks and bricks show up that we didn't bring, and people smashing windows and things are getting burned down. And it's, but usually when we're protesting, it's also in response to you killing somebody, either a knee on the neck or a bullet to the back of the head. I mean, unarmed, hands up, whatever. It's usually in a violent way that we're in the streets. This, it's peaceful because there was no opposition, no police arriving, trying to create chaos, and then CNN wasn't there around the clock. Anyway, I'm gonna say less. But did you see any of it? Did you follow? Did you go, Don, to any of these marches?
I did not go. I did follow, just to the extent that some of it dribbled across my timelines, because I can't escape politics on social media at this point. But I'm going to take this in a little bit of a different angle than you may suspect. We are probably 15 years into the protest era now. I started the Arab Spring all the way through today, and Arab Spring to Trayvon to Michael Brown and its progeny in terms of protest. And so I have pretty regularly been engaged in studying the science of protest, and as a lawyer, I've represented protestors regularly. So I've kind of always quietly been, intellectually present in protest spaces. And when you talk about peace, and we talk about this being, it was so peaceful because there were no blacks there. One thing that I have found almost universally as a through line to exist in places where black protest is heavy is that there are agent provocateurs in those spaces that have nothing to do with the actual protestors. And so you properly identify. Well, I'm saying, and I think I'll just say, I think I've built up enough credibility with you and our family audience here. I'm not a tinfoil hat guy, but that is a clear through line I've seen starting in Ferguson, where I saw them with my own eyes. Literal anarchists, right? People who do not share the political ideology of the protesters, but people who believe in anarchy and chaos come to protests to sow that. And I found it interesting that these protests are described as peaceful. Well, those people don't show up to white protests, right? They show up to protests where, and whoever compels them to show up, whether it's sua sponte on their own or whether they're compelled by some type of higher power, I don't know. But what I can tell you is, to me, a quote unquote peaceful protest is not a comment on the protestors. It is a comment on the lack of agent provocateurs in that physical space. And I'm willing to stand on that.
No, I think that's the point, and I want to play several clips, and I want to hear from people who were at protests, because I did see a few of us sprinkled in. But as I was saying, we shouldn't be cannon fodder. I feel like if we had showed up en masse and we were in the front, and not only would we have brought some entertainment, because it was like boiled chicken and raisins in a potato salad type of, no disrespect, it just was very I went to Catholic schools. It was very, make me an instrument of your peace. It was giving
Listen,
in nomine Patre et Filii Spiritus Sancti, amen. It was giving that to me.
It was giving Neo Joan Baez for sure. It was a lot of, like a lot of Birkenstocky if it had been a little few months later. But we need them too. They are our family as well, and we are glad to see them raising their voices in this moment. I don't mean to reject their allyship. Where it is
I love it. It was giving the answer. My friend is blowing in the wind. It was giving all of that. Yes. It was. Oh man, but I'm glad they were there. Wish they were.
Yes.
Would have loved to see you in November. But if you had just done this in November, perhaps we wouldn't be going through this right now.
Experience Karen Hunter
in a completely different way.
Karen Hunter is awesome. The podcast.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're going to love me. And Karen Hunter is awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of The Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is Awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power. A 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. So check out the podcast wherever you get your podcast. You will not be disappointed.